in the state of Vermont. So. Let me thank Jim Hightower, not just for his introduction, but we have worked together. We have worked together for many, many years, and I thank Jim not only for his support for my efforts over the years, but for all that he has done for progressive politics in America. Jim, thanks so much. I think back, as I walked in here, I was thinking back of our trips to Texas, and I think the first time we were still thinking about maybe running, hadn't made a final decision, and we were in Austin, and we held a meeting at an IBW Union Hall. And we were driving in, and there was this damn traffic. There was a real traffic jam, and I said, damn it, we're going to be late to the meeting. I wonder what this traffic jam was about. Turns out it was people getting into the meeting. That was what the traffic jam was about. So I said, all right, we're doing that well in Texas. I think we got a chance to do well around the country. So I want to thank, I know we didn't do great in the state of Texas, but I want to thank all of you for your fervent support and to tell you what we have accomplished in this campaign. Number one, we ended up winning 22 states in America. And we came pretty close in some others. We ended up with 1,846 pledged delegates, 46% of the total. Now, the truth is, we didn't do quite so well with the superdelegates. And I'm very happy to tell you that as part of the work of the Rules Committee, superdelegates are going to be reduced by some 60%. What perhaps was most, I think, gratifying about the campaign is that in virtually every state, including Texas, we won the support, and often by wide margins, of young people. At the end of the day, we were winning young people by big margins if they were white, if they were black, if they were Latino, if they were Asian American, if they were Muslim. Why that is important is by definition. Young people are the future. Young people are the future of this country, and they are the future of the Democratic Party. Let me just say a few words about where we are and where I think we've got to go. All right. Sorry. You guys working on it? I love you, Bernie! Just say a few words while we wait for this moment to get up. Number one, it goes without saying that in the next 3 months, we have got to defeat Donald Trump and elect Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump is the worst candidate in the modern history of this country. And I say that, having seen some pretty bad Republican candidates.
makes Trump different and worse is that he is a demagogue.
Yep.
The cornerstone of his campaign is not economics. The cornerstone of his campaign is bigotry. It is bringing one group of Americans against another group, whether it is Latinos and Mexicans, whether it is Muslims, whether it is insulting women, or whether it is insulting African Americans. And I want everybody here not to forget that before Trump became a candidate for president, he was a leader of the so-called birther movement. You remember that? Yes. Now, what the birther movement was about was not disagreeing with Barack Obama. That's called democracy. We can disagree with anyone. What it was about was trying to undermine the legitimacy of the first African-American president in our history. I always found it interesting. My father was born in Poland. Nobody has ever asked me for my birth certificate. So we have got to bring our people together, black and white, and Latino and Asian American. We have got to bring our people together, whether they're gay or straight, male or female, whether they were born in America or whether they came to America. Bring our people together to create the kind of country that we want to have. Other point that I want to make is that too often people think that the day after elections, politics ends. And that is one of the reasons why so many Americans become demoralized. We have campaigns and we have elections. The function of elections is not just to win. The function of an election is to transform this country. Not easy because the media plays a terrible role in this. Media talks about everything except what is most important to the American people. Politics is not entertainment. It's not a soap opera. It's not a football game. Politics is about the lives of 300 million Americans. Is stay focused on the issues that are of concern to our neighbors and the men, women, and children of this country. Yes, absolutely. We have come a long way in 7.5 years since the dark days when Bush left office, when we were losing 800,000 jobs a month. 800,000 jobs a month. And when the world's financial system was on the verge of collapse, we should be proud of that accomplishment. But, and here is the but that some Democrats and here is the but that some Democrats forget about. Yes, we have made progress in 7.5 years. But if anybody thinks that there do not remain in this country enormous economic problems you would be sorely mistaken and not understanding the reality of American society. Brothers and sisters, these are the questions we have to ask. Why is it? You tell me, think about it. An explosion in technology, an explosion in worker productivity, and you got millions of Americans working longer hours for low wages. In my state and in your state, all kinds of people working 2 or 3 jobs to cobble together the income and the health care they need to take care of their families. But today, 85% of all new income generated today is going to the top 1%. This is a reality that we have got to deal with. This country does not just belong to the billionaire class, it belongs to all of us. Just an economy that is skewed to benefit the wealthy and the powerful. It is increasingly a political system which is moving us toward oligarchy. We have got to, and I'm very proud that Secretary Clinton has made this clear, that the Supreme Court justices that she will appoint understand we need to overturn citizens' I come from a very small state, and every March we have town meetings, and people get together in the towns, they argue about the school budget, municipal budget, and all that stuff. One person, one vote. That's American democracy. When you have people like the Koch brothers and other billionaires spending hundreds of millions of dollars to elect candidates who represent the wealthy and the powerful, that, my friends, is not democracy. That is oligarchy, and together we're going to end it. When we talk about keeping our eyes on the prize, what is important to the American people, we have got to understand that we remain the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a right. I believe we've got to go forward and continue the fight for a Medicare for all single-payer program. During the campaign, Secretary Clinton and I both focused in somewhat different ways on the crisis of the cost of higher education in this country. And I'm happy to tell you what some of you may know, that just last month, we came together in agreement on what I consider to be a revolutionary proposal for higher education in America. And what it says, listen to this, it says that every family in America with an income of $125,000 or less, that's 83% of our people, will be able to send their kids to public colleges or universities tuition free. That is a pretty big deal, and within that proposal, there is major efforts to significantly reduce student debt in America. Together,
Sanders camp and the Clinton camp worked together on creating the most progressive platform in the history of the Democratic Party. A platform that called for a national minimum wage of $15 an hour. For women workers, and the understanding that disastrous trade policies like the TPP must be defeated. We have got to do everything that we can to make certain that that TPP does not come to the floor of the Congress in the lame duck session. Now, let me just conclude by telling you that what we are doing right now is transitioning our campaign from a political campaign running for president to a different type of campaign. We look forward to working with you, with Jim Hightower, and the folks in Texas. And what that campaign is about is trying to bring more and more people, working people and young people, into the political process and getting many of them to start running for political office. It is not widely talked about, but over the last 8 years, Republicans have captured some 900 seats in legislatures all over this country that were held by Democrats. We're going to get those seats back. So if you know folks who want to run for school board, who want to run for city council or county commission, or want to run for the legislature, we want to be there working with those people around a progressive agenda. So to those who supported me and to those who we are now working with together, let me say thank you all. The political revolution. Political revolution was not just about winning a campaign, it was about transforming this country. That struggle continues, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.
Something that she wants to present to you.
Clarissa, I've talked to you guys all around. I'm the youngest delegate in the country. I'm pledged to Bernie. On behalf of the entire Texas Bernie Sanders national delegation, we want to present you with this autographed Bernie Sanders sign.
Could everybody take your seats? We have one more great speaker. I ask you to remain, please do that. We don't this election is about, what Bernie Sanders talked about was making sure that we have leaders in America who follow people like Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. And we have one here in the House today. He is a great mayor, the mayor of the city of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti. Help me welcome Eric Garcetti.